sort of my morning walk here. Whoa. It's cold, the wind, but that's not what I started filming. I just wanted to get a shot of how high the tide is. It's actually starting to flood the parking lot. It's a bit rare, but it seems to happen. So we're gonna mark the solar panel here as the marker for what high is, as the panel is definitely partially submerged. Right up there. Yeah. So that's a pretty steep climb when it's this low. It gets lower than this, but not often.
I'm missing a video clip here, and this stuff here is water weld. It's by JB Weld. It's a putty, and it's what I've decided to try to fix some of the spots inside the water tank with. I'm going to do a test run of this stuff. I'm going to just take a bit of it and stick it on a good part of the tank down here where I can reach and see real nice and well, and let it dry, and then I'm going to whack at it with a chisel or something and see how hard it is to get off, and hopefully it'll be strong enough. Can't hardly see it, but there's a little glob right there. And wait an hour and see how hard that is to scrape off. It's been almost an hour, and lots of noises. I might have to go check the dock lines here. But anyways, back to what we were doing is, let's see if this stuff sticks. It's pretty cold, so I will bet that if we gave it a little longer to cure, it might even stick better. I feel like it's still slightly pliable. I could chisel that off if I really wanted to, but it's sticking pretty good. So I think this is going to be a viable option. Okay, I heard some cracking trying to take that off, and I don't want to take a chunk of the gel coat out, so it's staying. Alright, so I've done the epoxy patch job on all the spots that I thought looked suspicious. Probably a couple other spots could use some. You see there's I don't know if we're getting any focus, but yeah, there's a couple spots down there. And so now I'm going to do a quick rinse job just to flush out any debris that may have fallen out or into the tanks, and then we're going to do a couple of flush just to get the particular taste and run everything through the system, because now that the debris is out, I can run stuff through the pumps and run the water through the whole system. So we're gonna do that. I got another bladder full, and yeah, that's what's happening. Alright, so that I don't have to worry about clogging the pump anymore, I bought a strainer that hopefully I can put on the end of the hose in there. Also, I've put a silicone hose and I ran it to the other side of the tank, because this is the lower side of the tank, and this is going to sit a little bit off the bottom anyways. This screws on, and I had to add a little bit of a vinyl tube there to increase the diameter, because this isn't 1/2 inch even though it's supposed to be 1/2 inch, so you know, nothing's right. And then now I gotta go fish in there and get the end of the hose, just barely see it there, and put this on the end of it. Alright, wish me luck. Alright, the filter's been installed down there. I don't know if it's focusing on it. Yeah, there it is. That water's cold, so that was painful. And now, for the first time, let's see here. Fresh water pump. Hear the pump going. We should have running water now. Oh my. Oh boy. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna admire this for a little while. Just I'll just leave me to myself. And this is the port tank now, and even though it started off a lot more disgusting, it's cleaning up a lot easier. So I'm hoping I'm almost done with this water tank project. Alright, well, back to it. Just pump this stuff in. Out. I already forgot that I came up with a simpler method of pumping out this tank. Yeah, this works way better. Alright, let's turn on this pump now and see if we can't get the water out of the boat. I'm standing over there. There's a switch back here somewhere. Huh. Oh well, maybe I just made a bigger mess for myself. This pump doesn't work, I'm in trouble. Alright, I think it's a switch over here. Looking at the wiring. Oh, turned on this time. Works only half the time. Okay, that's good. Maybe it's jammed up with stuff. Pump the water from the other tank into this tank in a rinse cycle. See how this goes. I'm gonna hit the camera with the water. I know it. But here, I'm gonna do it anyways. So, pumping the water from one tank to the other. Ah. Alright, so I've been cleaning out this tank down here. Excuse the lighting, but there's not really much to see. And I just filled it up with water to sort of flush it out. And I finally found out what this pump here does. It's underneath the sink as before, but it actually goes in this little box here. There's just this tube with nothing on the end. This tube was just dangling inside that compartment, so that's why it floated out the back cabin. But the pump worked for about 10 gallons, and now it seems to not want to do anything anymore. Alright, I have just removed this pump from underneath the sink, and of course it's the same Chinese one that blew up. So I think it's the exact same Chinese one that I bought that blew up on my bladder transfer mechanism, but I think this one died due to different reasons, since it's probably been on board for a while. I didn't put it in. So now I'm going to take it apart and see if I can figure out why it died. I suspect I know why. So what I'm expecting to find in here, or I'm hoping to find, is that there's some sort of contamination or debris. Get this to focus. That's jamming up the valves in the pump, that's stopping it from pumping. Because we hear the motor going, so we know the motor is still good, but it's just not pumping anything, so it's losing suction. The other way this thing can stop pumping is that there's a crack in the line somewhere, and it's pulling air and not water, but the lines have been working fine, and they don't have any moving component. This does, so I'm suspecting that this is where the failure point is, and not some water line somewhere. That's it back together, and I'm gonna go test this, and maybe install it. But I'm probably gonna get a couple extra of these because they're dirt cheap, and I figure they're pretty much disposable. All right, so. So you've got down here, there's the pump, reinstalled, focus. So I'm just dangling there. I don't have a lot of faith it's going to work, so let's turn it on and see. Let's see here. Huh. Yep. Don't think we're getting very much. One of the things that's been infinitely useful on the boat is I have connectors like this, and it's just so cold that any old or used vinyl tubing is basically just is on to any kind of barb or connection like this. So hard. It's on there so well you just can't pull it off. But the trick that's been saving the bacon is a little heat pencil gun like this. Just adding a little bit of heat. It's just making all the world of difference. So a little bit of heat. Careful not to melt it. It just comes right off. I couldn't pull that off with all my strength a minute before. So this is like only 300 watts or 400 watts or something like that, and they're 15 bucks. I can't recommend this enough. It has so many uses. Alright, I'm going to now pump water from one tank into the other, continue the cleaning process, and to test the pump underneath the head here, or underneath the sink in the head. And this is the head in the port hull, but it's connected to the starboard tank, and this is the port tank. So here we go. I'm gonna start moving water from one side to the other. The other thing is you can see there I've added a clear piece of tubing so I can see what's going on, and if you can tell, there's a copper pipe that's actually coming out of the tank, and that's what goes in between the tank and the shower to get water out of the tank. So I'll turn this pump on and we'll see it won't pump. And you see it's struggling to pump, and I think what you can see is eventually well, now it's not pumping anything. So I believe that there's a hole in the copper tubing at this point in time, not allowing the pump to full suction. I still replaced the pump, make sure it's not bad, but I found a bad kink in this copper inside the tank, so it's going to be fun to figure out how to fix that. One of the things I can do is raise the water level of this tank to above where I think there's a hole in the copper pipe. You can see it down in there. And once the hole in the copper pipe, I think, gets covered by water, this pump underneath the kitchen sink here, the head sink here, bathroom head sink here, will be able to start pulling water from this tank again. So if it starts working when this tank is full, I'll know that copper pipe is bad. And if it doesn't work when this tank is full, then I'll know the pump is bad. Alright, process of elimination. That tank is about as full as I can get it. And if I turn back on the pump underneath the sink here, it's still not doing anything. So I believe that copper pipe inside the tank is fully submerged now, at least as far as I can get it. And it's still not drawing water. I'm still not drawing water out of the tank with the pump. So I'm going to investigate the pump further. Alright, new pump time. I'm going to have to replace... let's see if you can see it. Where is it? It's back there. Yeah, there it is. So get back there and replace that. So I got there's the old pump. I got the new pump in. And it's one of those situations where I kind of want to tear your hair out because you can't believe what the actual problem is. Because now, well, first of all, I've already tried the pump, but there is a third problem, which is easy to overcome. And it's so cold that some of the lines outdoor where this pump goes had a little bit of ice in them, so it struggled to begin with. So we turn it on to run it. Now you rack it. I don't know if you can see that. Little air bubbles. And air bubbles coming from, directly from the copper pipe, which is coming from the tank, which indicates that we had 3 problems. Once we had a little ice in the line, but that was pretty easy to overcome once we got some actual water being pushed in the lines. But the other 2 problems is that we have a hole in the copper pipe and the pump is bad. So process of elimination, it becomes difficult when you're facing 2 problems that show the same symptoms. So there you have it. Alright, so I've switched over to the backup plan. The backup plan is to just stick a manual pump into the tank and pump it into the shower and then pump it overboard. So that's what's happening. Alright, I've got a project, hopefully a short one. It is to fix a hole in the shrink wrap that the shrink wrap for service didn't fix properly. Hopefully this will be easy. Yes. Leave. Hopefully that does it. I'm told that's the best way to patch one of these holes, is just use a lot of tape. That covering the shrink wrap, getting the shrink wrap to stick to the shrink wrap, doesn't always hold, but this stuff is stronger. We'll see if that's true. Feels pretty good. So there's my spinnaker. Gonna let it dry out there a bit. It's in the sock, which is probably a good thing, but I don't quite understand how these things work, so I'm not going to pull it out of the sock. I'm just going to sprawl it out a little bit. It's got to be almost 70 or 80 degrees underneath this plastic, so I'm hoping it's going to give it a good chance to dry out before putting it back.
So, this morning, we got snow. It is snowing. And a lot of it. Yeah, I'm gonna wait for that to die down before I try any of that. But I can't help. I'm gonna poke the snow off the roof. Time for my morning venture off to the shower.
Let's see, clean that off. Good, nice traction there. Let's see here. I haven't gotten very far yet. As far as I've gotten. Ooh. Yeah. I'm gonna have to put the camera down. Yeah, it's gonna take me a little while. And I'm nervous about falling in the water, so yeah.
I'm going to end the video here, and I'm going to just say that I'm going to keep making these videos whether you guys like them or not. But if you were to like, subscribe, or comment, that would be great. Anyways, thanks for watching.